Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're trying to crack the code on how we understand sentences, specifically argument structure and theta roles.
Yeah, it sounds complex, but it's really fundamental.
Our source is theta roles and argument structure, and the mission really is to give you the core ideas without, you know, the linguistic headache.
Exactly. Think of it as the hidden blueprint. We're looking at how verbs connect with their partners, the arguments,
And theta roles are central to that.
right at the heart of it. Theta roles are basically the semantic jobs, the roles participants play in whatever the verb is describing.
Okay, like job descriptions. Can you give me an example?
Sure. Like in the dog chases the ball. The dog is doing the chasing, right? That's the agent role. And the ball, well, it's being chased. That's often called the patient or theme role. It tells you what part each noun phrase plays in the action.
Got it. So they're meaning-based roles tied directly to the verb.
Precisely.
Now, our source mentions something called the theta criterion. Sounds important.
It is, yeah. It's a really key principle. The theta criterion basically says two things. One, every argument has to get a theta role.
Okay.
Only one theta role. And two, every theta role the verb has to assign must be given to an argument.
So it's like a perfect matching system. No leftover roles, no participants without a role.
Exactly. It ensures clarity. It stops sentences from being, well, nonsensical because the roles aren't clear. Keeps things well-formed.
Right, avoids confusion. So the verb itself, its meaning, that dictates who needs to be there.
Absolutely. The verb's meaning is crucial. A verb like, say, sneeze, just needs a sneezer, right? An agent. But something like donate, well, you need a donor. The thing being donated and usually someone receiving it. 3 participants, 3 roles.
Okay, that makes sense. The verb sets the stage. Now, what about this distinction between external and internal arguments? Is that just subject and object?
Often, yeah, it lines up that way, pretty much. The external argument is typically the subject, often the agent, the one starting the action.
In the internal.
Usually closer to the verb, like the direct object. Often the patient or theme, the thing being acted upon or affected.
Okay. And how does this argument structure, this setup, connect to the event itself?
Well, the idea is that the argument structure kind of mirrors the event structure, how we conceptualize what's happening.
So for an act of giving, the structure reflects a giver, a gift, a recipient.
Exactly. The linguistic structure maps onto our understanding of the event.
Okay, now for some terms that sound maybe a bit more technical, unaccusative and unergative verbs.
Right. These are interesting. They both usually just have one argument, but they structure it differently.
How so?
Unergative verbs like dance or laugh have an external argument. The subject is typically an agent, the one doing the dancing or laughing.
Okay, straightforward enough.
But unaccusative verbs like arrive or fall, they technically have one internal argument to start with.
Internal. But it ends up as the subject, right? The train arrived.
Exactly. The idea is that the argument, the train, is really the thing undergoing the arriving, the theme. It starts out conceptually inside the verb phrase and moves to the subject position.
Interesting. So its origin point is different. And what about little v? Sounds a bit mysterious.
Yeah, it's a theoretical thing. Think of little v as like a functional piece of structure, often sitting just above the main verb.
And what does it do?
Its job is often related to introducing the external argument, especially the agent. It's linked to causation or activity. It helps assign that do-er role in many verbs.
The hidden agent introducer almost. Gotcha. And
Yeah.
what happens when we have 3 arguments, like give, put, send?
Right, those are detransitive verbs. They complicate things a bit. You've got the external argument, the giver or putter,
Yeah.
and then 2 internal arguments, the thing given and the recipient, or the thing put and the location. The structure needs to carefully manage assigning the correct roles to both of those internal guys.
So more complex mapping. And just briefly, is there a connection to like word forms, morphology?
Yeah, there is, though it gets complicated fast. Sometimes the shape of a verb, maybe an affix, can give clues about its argument structure, like whether it typically takes an object or not. But we won't dive too deep there today.
Okay, fair enough. So let's wrap this up. Key takeaways.
Okay, so the theta roles define the semantic jobs of participants: agent, patient, theme, etc.
Right. And the theta criterion makes sure it all fits one role per argument, one argument per role.
Exactly. And verbs are the bosses. Their meaning dictates how many arguments are needed and what kind.
We also touched on external arguments, usually subjects versus internal one, often objects.
Yep, and how that structure often reflects the event structure itself.
Plus the difference between unergatives like dance with an external argument and unaccusatives like arrive, where the argument starts internally.
Don't forget little v, helping introduce the agent role.
Right, little v. And the complexities of those three argument verbs, the detransitives.
That's pretty much the core framework, is what lets us build and understand sentence meaning so effectively.
So, for you listening, here's a thought. Now that you've got this peek behind the curtain at argument structure and theta roles, how might that change the way you look at sentences? When you read or speak, can you sort of see these roles being assigned? What does it tell you about how our minds organize actions and events through language? Something to chew on. Thanks for diving deep with us.